Hi, welcome to Surviving Social Media. I'm Tracy, head of Mentoring You, and I teach e-learning for entrepreneurs. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about strategies, tips, and tricks that you need to know when it comes to social media. This is me. Happy to help. Definitely reach out and connect with me on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and other avenues to keep the conversation going long after this training is over. Today, we're going to talk about getting found and being recognized. One of the first things you need to keep in mind with social media is that consumers are going to find you on the channel that's most appropriate to them. So what that means is you need to establish clear branding, have a consistent look and feel to your social media channels, and put yourself out there on as many channels as you're comfortable maintaining. So whether that's Pinterest, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, you want to do them all? Do them all. You want to do three? Do three. Just be consistent and make sure that when you're setting up your profiles that you're being consistent with your logo and your branding and your colors so that no matter where a consumer finds you, they recognize that it's you. Work smart. You want to make sure that as you are developing content for your social media channels, that you do that with a big picture view in mind. Now, what I'm talking about when I say that is think about spending a lot of time on a blog post, and then that blog post being able to feed your social media channels for a week. So you want to make sure that when you are developing good content, sharing what you know, that you then leverage that to make connections on social media, to share little tidbits and little bites of that, to generate buzz. And you always want to bring people back to your website. So you want to make sure that you are able to capture their information, capture their interest, and connect with them later. And generally, you're going to do some type of email subscribe or lead generation capture on your website. So we want to make sure we're getting folks back over to where you do business. Social media is all about the connection. It's about building relationships. Your website is about building business. Teach what you know. Tutorials, how-to videos, sharing information like that are great ways to successfully put out good information and have it shared again, helping to grow your business and leverage those new connections on social media. Imagery matters. There are certain social media platforms like Pinterest and Instagram that largely depend upon images. So you want to make sure that when you're developing content for your blog posts and starting to build this out, that you're including bright, attractive, well-taken images, because those are images you can share on sites like Instagram and Pinterest that will then again lead back to the content that you've written. Keep interest alive by remembering the rule of 10. The rule of 10 means that for every 10 posts that you share that are maybe inspirational quotes or how-tos, just fun, thank you for being a subscriber, happy holidays, just fun, lighthearted posts. For every 10 of those, give yourself one good salesy post. One post to say, hey, this is what I do. I'd love to help you out. Feel free to share with anybody who may be interested in the services that I offer. Don't be afraid to get personal. If you want to let your consumers know a little bit about you, you want to let them know you like to run marathons. You want to let them know that your office is blue. You just remade over your office. Those kind of little personal connections. Definitely don't get into anything that gives away your location or could put you at risk, but giving away a little bit of personal information helps your participants and your consumers really connect with you. It helps them get to know you and see you as a real person and not just a business. And then also be sure you're leveraging tools like Kite and Buffer to keep your feed full. These are tools that allow you to find content, pre-schedule content, easily share content over to your social media channels. When you see businesses that are posting 7, 8, 9 times a day, very rarely are those people sitting at a computer all day long posting. What they have generally done is looked ahead, developed kind of a social media calendar and a big picture overview, and then they have filled up their feed so that those posts automatically run and they can spend their time engaging with consumers, responding to comments, reaching out and making connections, not necessarily typing post after post. Status updates. Couple of quick tips on those. You want to make sure you keep it short and simple. 225 characters or less is what Facebook generally prefers. Anything longer than that and it starts to get a little long and folks don't always click that read more button and expand your post. Keep in mind 225 characters is right roughly about twice the length of a tweet. So you have a little more room on Facebook. Post announcements that engage folks quickly. There's some interesting stuff behind the scenes called the Facebook algorithm that figures out how quickly your post is going to show up in other people's news feeds, how often it's going to be kind of promoted. The more likes, shares, and comments that you get quickly, like right after you post, the more Facebook is going to think that's an important post and they're going to share it. There's also some information behind the scenes on the fact that if you're sharing it among your personal circle, if a family member likes your post, it counts for more than if acquaintance shares and likes your post. Comments and shares count more than likes. So there's different levels of engagement, but you want to make sure that you are putting up content that engages folks. Make sure you're asking for feedback, giving people something that they can weigh in on. Because if they begin to comment on it, it's going to get more visual real estate on Facebook's page. And then giving good advice. Status updates that contain advice or teach folks something are shared far more frequently, 522% actually, more frequently, and those shares obviously will boost your views. If you have a website that you are using to lead people back to, and I hope you do, be sure that website has social media share buttons. And these are a little bit different than just kind of a button that you could put out there with Facebook on it. These are usually plugins on WordPress or widgets on other websites that allow you to automatically have the pin it, like it, share it, tweet it under every piece of content that you put up on your blog, whether that's a picture or a blog post, different things like that. And it really allows folks to very quickly share what's on your website. Think about the last time that you were on Facebook and you saw a really interesting article. Did you click like or did you click read it? And when you clicked read it, I bet it took you over to that person's website. So posts that have links in them very rarely get liked on Facebook. So you want to make sure you have these social media share buttons embedded on your website because that allows your visitor to like, share, and comment on your content directly on your website and have it show up on Facebook. It's a very neat connection. And then always don't forget to include calls to action. Calls to action are anything that encourages your consumers to take the next step in connecting with you. Click here to contact us, give us a call for a free quote, download this free resource, anything where they're providing you with an email or a phone number or a way to get back in touch with them to help you close the sale and continue to build that relationship. So in review, you want good, consistent branding. You want to make sure you have a core library of content. Usually this is a blog because that will improve your SEO. And you want to leverage that to make sure your social media stays current. Share what you know. Tutorials, downloadable resources, how-tos, use those to create your content. Make sure you're including those great images that can be used on Pinterest and drive interest in traffic. Remember our rule of 10. Leverage those great social media tools. And make sure you're keeping your status updates short and sweet with great facts and figures. 1 point per post, so you only want one key point so that your readers will comment and engage on it and not get lost in the dialogue. And faster engagement means more views. Always close the loop. You want to make sure your customers are landing back on your website so that you can connect with them and take your business to the next level. I hope you liked our quick presentation here. There is more tutorials and trainings and e-learning courses on mentoringyou.org. And you can always reach me on social media at Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Links are on the website. Thanks for stopping by.